Hello, my name is Daniel Carter. Today, I want to share the story of my success. I hope someone out there may learn something from my story. If someone had told me 10 years ago that I'd be running a successful business and speaking to young entrepreneurs about perseverance, I would have laughed in disbelief. Back then, I was lost, trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, financial struggles, and an overwhelming fear of failure. But everything changed the moment I learned the power of a single step. I grew up in a small town where big dreams were often met with small opportunities. My parents worked tirelessly to provide for my siblings and me, but money was always tight. I wasn't a top student. Nor was I particularly skilled at anything. College wasn't an option, so after high school, I took whatever jobs I could find, working as a cashier, janitor, delivery boy, and warehouse assistant. Every day felt the same. I woke up, went to work, came home exhausted, and repeated the cycle. I wanted more out of life, but I didn't know where to start. The world seemed to belong to those with college degrees, rich parents, or exceptional talents. I had none of those. The worst part wasn't the financial struggle, it was the emptiness. I felt like I was just existing, waiting for something to happen. But deep down, I knew that nothing would change unless I changed. One evening, after an exhausting shift at the diner, I sat on a park bench, staring blankly at the night sky. An elderly man sat down beside me. He seemed calm, content, as if he had figured life out. After a few moments of silence, he turned to me and said, "You look like a man waiting for life to happen to him." His words hit me harder than I expected. It was true, I was waiting. Waiting for a break, waiting for some magical moment where everything would change. Seeing the frustration on my face, he continued, "Son, success isn't about giant leaps. It's about small steps. One step at a time. Pick something, anything, and take the first step today." That night, I couldn't sleep. His words echoed in my mind. I had spent years making excuses, telling myself I wasn't lucky enough, smart enough, or talented enough. But what if success wasn't about having it all figured out? What if it was about simply taking one step forward? The next morning, I made a decision. I wouldn't wait any longer. I would take action, no matter how small. I had always admired people who built their own businesses, but I had no idea how to start. So I did the simplest thing I could think of. I went to the library and borrowed a book on entrepreneurship, The $100 Startup, by Chris Guillebeau. It was a small step, but it was a step. Every day after work, I spent an hour reading. I took notes, wrote down ideas, and researched successful entrepreneurs. I didn't understand half of what I read at first, but I kept going. I told myself, just one step a day. Soon, an idea started forming. I noticed a growing trend. People loved custom-designed t-shirts. But most online stores were either too expensive or had poor quality. Could I start a small t-shirt business? At first, the idea felt ridiculous. I had no money, no experience, and no idea how to design a shirt. But instead of focusing on what I lacked, I focused on what I could do next. With my small savings, I bought a basic heat press and a few blank t-shirts. My first designs were terrible, and I made countless mistakes. But instead of giving up, I focused on learning, watching YouTube tutorials, experimenting with different printing techniques, and asking for feedback. My first few customers were friends and family. Their encouragement kept me going. I reinvested every dollar I made into better equipment and materials. The journey wasn't smooth. Some days, I questioned if I was wasting my time. There were moments of frustration, shirts ruined due to printing errors, orders lost in shipping, social media ads that didn't work. But I reminded myself, just one step a day. Each time I faced a problem, I focused on solving it instead of letting it defeat me. I kept refining my designs, improving my marketing, and slowly, my brand began to grow. One day, I received an order from a customer I didn't know, a complete stranger. It was a small order, just 5 shirts, but to me, it was proof that I was making progress. I used social media to showcase my work, collaborating with small influencers who loved my designs. Word spread, and soon, I had regular customers. My tiny bedroom business started expanding. After 2 years of consistent effort, I quit my job and focused entirely on my brand. Today, my t-shirt business generates more income than I ever thought possible. I have a team, an online store, and customers from all over the country. Looking back, I realize the secret to success isn't in luck, intelligence, or talent, it's in taking action. It's in the small, daily steps that add up over time. If I had waited for the perfect time or the perfect idea, I would still be stuck in that cycle of waiting. Instead, I chose to move forward, one step at a time. If you're feeling lost, stuck, or unsure of where to begin, remember this: you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step, because one step can change everything.